All right, anime fans, brace yourselves. Spring 2025 is serving up some of the most mind-blowing, chaotic, and straight-up bizarre shows we've seen in a while. This is Immerverse Anime. Watch this video to the end and hit that subscribe button now. Let's get into it. 10. Shin Samurai Den Yaiba. Starting off, we have Shin Samurai Den Yaiba, a reboot of the classic 90s anime Yaiba. Think of it as Demon Slayer, but with 100% more slapstick comedy and over-the-top sword fights. The story follows Yaiba Kurogane, a hot-headed young samurai in training who somehow gets tangled up with legendary swords, mystical creatures, and a villain who probably should have retired centuries ago. Why should you watch it? Because nostalgia mixed with modern animation equals hype. Plus, if you love sword fights that make zero sense scientifically, but look ridiculously cool, this is your jam. 9. To Be Hero X. You thought One Punch Man was chaotic? To Be Hero X is like if Deadpool got isekai'd into a superhero dystopia. Our main character is a washed-up loser who suddenly becomes an overpowered hero. But in true To Be Hero fashion, the powers come with absurd drawbacks. The action is top tier, the comedy is so ridiculous it should be illegal, and the story somehow balances all that nonsense with surprisingly good emotional moments. This is for those who love unpredictable anime that make you laugh 1 second and question reality the next. 8. Please put them on Takamine-san. Ah yes, the anime that will either be peak romance or a plot so insane that it gets banned in multiple countries. The story revolves around Takamine-san, a beautiful yet mysterious girl who loses pieces of her clothing whenever she uses her power. Sounds like an ecchi gimmick, but wait! Her power actually allows her to rewrite events. This means that every time something crazy happens, she has to strip down to make things right. If you're into wild rom-coms with a side of supernatural chaos, this might be the most unhinged romance anime of the season. What a 7. Lazarus. What happens when Shinichiro Watanabe, the genius behind Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, teams up with John Wick's Chad Stahelski? You get Lazarus, an action-packed sci-fi thriller about a world where a miracle drug has wiped out disease. But there's a catch. The people who took it are now doomed to die, and a mysterious group must stop this ticking time bomb before it's too late. Expect high-octane chases, insane martial arts sequences, and animation so clean you'll wonder if reality is actually animated. 6. New Panty Stocking with Garter Belt. They actually did it. They revived Panty Stocking. This is not a drill. After years of fans demanding its return, the absolute insanity of Gainax's cult classic is coming back. If you never watched the original, imagine an R-rated Powerpuff Girls meets South Park, but with even less shame. Panty Stocking, two fallen angels with bad attitudes, are back to fight ghosts, cause chaos, and push every boundary imaginable. This show is pure insanity in the best way possible. 5. I may be a guild receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time. Isekai and fantasy anime have a new queen, and she just wants to finish work on time. Alina is a guild receptionist by day, but when adventurers are too weak to clear dungeons, she just solos the boss herself, all so she can go home early. This is the power fantasy we all need. The idea of an OP protagonist whose main goal is a good work-life balance? Relatable. Expect great fights, hilarious reactions from clueless adventurers, and a protagonist who's basically the fantasy version of, I don't get paid enough for this. 4. Past the monster meat melody. Anime titles keep getting crazier, but this one is exactly what it sounds like. A noblewoman and a former dragon slayer embark on a journey across a fantasy world, eating the monsters they defeat. Why? Because monster meat is apparently delicious. If delicious in Dungeon made you hungry, this one will send you straight to the kitchen, wondering if dragon steak is a thing. Expect a mix of action, comedy, and way too much food talk. Gachiakuta. If you love dystopian worlds, brutal fights, and characters with more trauma than sense, Gachiakuta is about to be your next obsession. This manga has been making waves, often compared to Jujutsu Kaisen and Dorodoro, for its insane fight scenes and unique setting. The story follows Rudo, a kid from the slums who's wrongfully accused of a crime and thrown into a nightmarish world full of monstrous creatures, trash-based superpowers, and ridiculously stylish delinquent designs. This is going to be gritty, violent, and absolutely amazing. 2. The Summer Hikaru Died. Now for something completely different and terrifying. This is a psychological horror that starts as a quiet, emotional drama, but quickly turns into a what the hell am I watching experience. Hikaru and Yoshiki were best friends until Hikaru died. Or at least, something that looks like Hikaru is still here. This anime is going to break hearts, mess with your brain, and leave you questioning your own friends. If you loved Higurashi or the Flowers of Evil, get ready for existential horror in its purest form. 1. Your Forma. And finally, at number 1, we have Your Forma, a sci-fi detective thriller that's shaping up to be the biggest sleeper hit of the season. The story follows Echika, an investigator who can literally scan people's memories to solve crimes. Sounds great, except for the fact that she has to work with an AI partner who she absolutely despises. Think Cyberpunk 2077 meets Psychopaths, but with more sass and awkward team dynamics. And that's it, the 10 wildest anime coming this spring.